Saradavadanaledadoka Pranaya Karuna Ghanaghanatvam Praptachakalyam Gunanabhasha Vande Gurase Charanara.
Hare Krishna, dear family and friends. Joshi Productions is back, sharing with you our humble tribute at the lotus feet of our dear most Srila Prabhupada on his 125th appearance day. Srila Prabhupada Avirbhav Devas ki Jai. On this auspicious occasion, we invite you all to join us and dive into the magic and mystery of a few pastimes of this great Acharya and savor some treasure moments. Hope you will relish this journey with us. So relax and enjoy the display. It was September 1896, on the day after Janmashtami, when a child was born to a devout Vaishnav family living in the suburbs of Kolkata. Gaur Mohan and Rajini named their boy Abhaya Charan, one who is fearless, having taken shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord. Near and dear ones flocked to congratulate the proud parents and showered blessings upon the newborn. Abhinandan! Abhinandan! An astrologer who did the horoscope for the child made an astounding prophecy.
This child will grow up to be a sannyasi, but not just any ordinary sannyasi. He will cross the ocean at the age of 70, become a great exponent of Vaishnava culture, opening 108 temples.
We shall wait to see whether the prophecy of this astrologer proves true or not. But for the time being, let us enjoy some sweet pastimes of our little Abhay. One day, little Abhay went to a fair with his family. There was a lot of hustle and bustle at the Mela. Vendors shouting to advertise their goods, fluttering balloons, handmade toys, rainbow sweets, fresh fruits, and various other items to attract kids and adults alike. Abhay's heart was captivated by a toy gun. Although his father purchased him a gun, Abhay wanted a second. One for each hand, he complained. When denied, Abhay flew into a rage and threw a tantrum, rolling on the bare ground, kicking and screaming until Gaur Mohan succumbed to his son's demands. Kachori Mukhi, Kachori Mukhi. Abhay was notorious for his love of kachoris, and his mother made sure there was an ample supply of hot kachoris for him. In fact, Abhay would stuff his mouth and pockets with kachoris, to the point where his friends started to tease him as Kachori Mukhi. Abhay's weakness for kachoris would in fact continue to persist into his later years. However, apart from these naughty, childlike antics, little Abhay had a very sincere spiritual side to him. From the tender age of 5, he daily visited the nearby Radha Govinda temple, along with his younger sister Bhavatarani. Mesmerized, they spent hours admiring the exquisite beauty and opulent worship of the deities. Little Abhay was so enamored by the Rath Yatra festival of Lord Jagannath that he desperately desired to have his own cart. With the help of his father, he purchased an old, dilapidated cart from an elderly Bengali lady. Together, they restored, painted, and redecorated the cart. Abhay tried as hard as he could to make it mimic the big carts at Puri festival. And so, At 5 years of age, Abhay organized his first Rath Yatra, celebrating with his friends and neighbors. They had ecstatic kirtan to the accompaniment of mridang and kartals. With time, Abhay grew to be a fine young man. He graduated from Scottish Church College, majoring in English, philosophy, and economics. He married, had children, started his pharmaceutical business, dabbled with nationalistic Gandhian way of life, but all along, he never neglected his spiritual side. One day, on the insistence of his friend Narendra Malik, Abhay, although reluctant, felt obliged to attend a visiting Gaudiya Mutt Vaishnav named Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. This meeting was a pivotal turning point in the life of young Abhay Charan Day. Abhay accepted Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati as his spiritual master, and he heard his guru's instruction.
You are an educated young man. Why don't you preach Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's message throughout the world?
This he took to heart, making it the mission of his life. After many years of struggle and repeated failures in India, Abhay, now known as Bhakti Vedanta Swami, managed to convince Sumati Morarji, head of Scindia Steamship Company, to give him a free ticket to the US aboard one of her cargo ships. On Friday, August 13, 1965, at the ripe old age of 70, Bhakti Vedanta Swami sailed for the US aboard Jaladut, a regular cargo ship. With 40 rupees and a crate full of books, he sailed off into uncharted territory. Vachana Guru ke nibhane ke liye उठा लिया वीणा तुमने जाने के लिए. जय प्रभुपाद जय श्रीला प्रभुपाद. 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 It was not an easy journey for Bhaktivedanta Swami. He endured seasickness and dizziness, suffering 2 heart attacks and thinking he would die. He surrendered himself to Lord Krishna's will.
आनियाचो जदि प्रभु आमारे नाचा दे नाचा नाचा प्रभु नाचा से मोते काशेर पुतली जता नाचा से मोते काशेर पुतली जता.
Krishna appeared to Bhaktivedanta Swami, assuring him not to fear and that everything would be all right. On 19 September 1965, Jaladut anchored on the shores of New York City. Prabhupada saw the awesome Manhattan skyline, Empire State Building, and the world-famous Statue of Liberty. His initial preaching attempts in America did not yield promising results, but keeping full conviction in his Guru's words, Prabhupada persevered. Finally, after a winter of struggle, there was light at the end of the tunnel. Slowly but surely, the disgruntled youth of America, the so-called hippies, started trickling in to hear what Swami Bhaktivedanta had to say. Fondly referring to him as Swamiji or Swami, they found Swami's kirtan and prasadam intoxicating. Almost overnight, a society was formed. From a storefront, Swamiji launched his first ever temple. One day, Swami, along with his core group, headed over to Tompkins Square Park, where, under an elm tree, the first Sankirtan outside India was performed. That very tree is still there and is now glorified as a historic site by the New York Historical Science Project. Beating on a small bongo drum, Swami sang the Hare Krishna mantra, mesmerizing the young hippies and park visitors alike.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
This was the dawn of a new era in Vaishnav culture. From then on, Prabhupada never looked back. In a span of 12 years, he circled the globe a total of 14 times. As prophesied by the astrologer, he opened 108 temples and with it inaugurated a standard of deity worship seen nowhere else in the world. Today, all ISKCON temples worldwide are famous for their exquisite deity dressing and beautiful aarti ceremonies, attracting the masses to visit the temple. His passion for Rath Yatra as a child never faded away. Introducing Rath Yatra all over the world, Prabhupada insisted that the Lord is Jagannath, Lord of the universe, not Purinath, Lord of Puri. Today, ISKCON Rath Yatra are held all around the world. So look out for the next Rath Yatra in your town. Don't miss it. Encouraging devotees towards a simple living and high-thinking philosophy, Srila Prabhupada started ISKCON's first farm community in West Virginia, nicknaming New Vrindavan, a place where devotees cultivated their own food and took care of cows. Today, ISKCON has hundreds of farm communities scattered around the globe, all of which uphold the principles that Srila Prabhupada set.
Yadi Prabhupada hoito, tabe ki hoito, e jivana bahita kishe.
Of all his contributions, perhaps the most significant and monumental are his books. He authored over 80 volumes on Krishna conscious literature, which are highly respected by many scholars for their authority, depth, clarity, and fidelity to Vaishnav tradition. May he live forever in his books and instructions.
Prabhupada Jaya, Prabhupada Jaya, Prabhupada Jaya, Prabhupada Jaya.